Hello and welcome to Hasu Hour. I'm your host Zerg. The map is Dusk Towers, and the matchup is Protoss versus Zerg. The game, of course, StarCraft 2, Legacy of the Void expansion, now in the second day of post beta, the actual game. Spawning in the 7 o'clock position, I decide to open with Pylon because there's really no choice. There is no other viable option for your first building. Maybe you could save and go Nexus or something, but that's sort of a little silly. So the map it's a two-player map, and it's small but decently expansion heavy for its size. It's got a very nice defensible natural here with the important natural defense of no access. They have to go through your main, through this medium-sized ramp in order to get to it. So my opponent opens with a fast expansion, which I scout. Pretty good opening considering the map, considering this is fairly easy to block. Maybe I should have put my pylon and gateway here by the ramp in case he was going for some sort of immediate pool build. I think the immediate pool is fairly viable in Legacy of the Void because it's not really costing you that much eco-wise. So you've got a chance to do some damage, a chance to win the game even, and you're only at sort of a slight economic disadvantage if your rush fails to do no harm. Perhaps it's a decent opening too against compulsive techers. So I go straight to Psycore, immediately to Psycore, throw down a second gate, and then I build an adept, and I'm going to go for Robs right here. I find when you get to core, there's sort of three things you need to do simultaneously. So you have to choose which is your higher ranked end. You want an adept. You want four things actually. You want this mothership core here, and then if you're going Robs, you want the Robs, and then you're going to want to warp to warp gate. So I usually go something like I usually get the core last because it's pretty much certainly the way I use it. It's a purely defensive unit. Phenomenal defensive unit. Great at handling sort of emergency situations. I like to always keep it on a hotkey like 2, even though you're rarely going to need it, but when you need it right then. And it's phenomenal, very difficult to assault Protoss in the sort of early mid game when they can do that photon overcharge and just completely destroy anything that's in the range of a pylon. So throwing down Robotics Bay here, still on 2 gate. I am going to try a little Disruptor play. Love the Disruptor. Phenomenal unit. And you see I poke here with a 3 adept force. My opponent goes for a slow ling backstab, but I do have my mothership core, and this is not really going to do any damage. My adepts now at the enemy base, trying to punish this eco-heavy build, and my opponent really doesn't have anything except queens, but he does have lots of queens. So I do engage, and I use the psionic transfer to try to do a little harass here. It's nice, you can sort of be attacking 2 places at once, and I do force my opponent to transfer his drones. So that is going to impact his mining a little bit, but the adepts don't really get any kills. So all in all, that's fairly drawish. And actually, because I am doing a disruptor push, I might have been better off just leaving the adepts in front or waiting for my disruptor to warp. I wanted to stay aggressive and sort of bad rally point here and stay aggressive and hopefully delay my opponent from teching. I wanted to avoid the muted tech, which obviously pretty potent against a adept disruptor force, since none of these units can hit air. So 3 bases for the Zerg here, throwing down Roach Warren. Does have the double Evo chambers. That's something, if I had scouted, I would have been better placed to tell that he was going ground. And a disruptor, a purification nova, taking out 4 forward wings. Not a bad start. I'm gonna wait here for the cooldown. Compiling these advantages, taking out a few units here and there, is pretty nice. You see what I'm doing? I'm using the shade from the adept to sort of scout ahead in order to know where to target my purification novas. And I am going to attack adepts, firing roaches and queens confronting, and a purification nova does not do any damage there, unfortunately. So the shades are going to flee, fighting while they run away, and I've got to regroup. So fairly decisive victory there for the Zerg forces. Nice little transfusion to get ready for the next assault, and roach pump. 1-1 almost finished, and in comes the purification nova, smashing 4 roaches. Really great hit there. That's completely setting back the defensive force. These queens, they can tank, they can take hits, but they're not going to do a lot of damage with their four damage talents. And mass disruptor here, mass adept, and in comes the nova. Another 4 roaches destroyed. Sunken getting a few hits. The adepts not doing a ton of damage. Purification novas raining down on the Zerg encampment. Phenomenal damage here. 145 splash damage. Just devastating the Zerg forces. And those disruptors are going to have to retreat during the cooldown period. More roaches coming. Zerg has managed to survive this assault. He is on an extra base, and he does have not quite saturation mining, but the roaches are and now he's microing away, dodging the purification nova. A few more adepts warping in. This nova is going to miss completely, and he does have the advantage of both the speed upgrade and the creep. Kept at bay by the novas, but no hits coming in. He is managing to dodge everything. So the adepts are going to try to take on this massive roach force in order to save the disruptors. And these guys really need to retreat. They really need to start running. One nice thing about the disruptor is it does have, there we go, 4 or 5 roaches caught in that nova. And these disruptors are going to get a nice little head start, joined by their buddy. But the roaches are in quick pursuit and maybe a little leery about this choke point here. Roaches getting a few hits, but having to run away from the nova. They're not quite able to catch up. And it really looks like the disruptor has been slowed down a little bit in terms of their movement speed since the beta. Maybe that's not the case, but it certainly appears that way to me. Still pretty even game. Nice supply edge here for blue. Up almost 20 supply, 18. Purification nova devastating the roach forces, and again ripping them to pieces. That was absolutely critical. Huge win there for the Protoss forces. And another nova taking out the roaches. They have not yet managed to kill even one disruptor, and the Mothership Core is going to evict this fledgling force from the Protoss base. Dramatic swing in supply count. Toss now out 14 supply. Devastating Novas. And Hydralisk Den. But what blue really needs is, of course, a Mutalisk Spire to handle this force. And it looks like the Protoss player is going to push six disruptors, 10 adepts, just total ground power. Five gate now, and the same one Rob's getting that third natural. Blue trying to take his fourth, and in comes the push. Still just a roach army here defending, and the Nova targeting the hatchery, doing some damage. The roaches are engaging, but they are forced to. Oh my God! Oh, the humanity! Mad roach blood has been spilled on the creep, and the adepts are getting picked off pretty quickly. They are more of a harass unit. And another Nova. This one is going to claim even more lives. Oh, very close to self-immolation there. The one thing about the Nova is it is friendly fire friendly, so you do have to watch that. Another Nova, going to keep those roaches at bay. And here's a preemptive Nova. The one nice thing you got so many disruptors is you can pretty much nonstop just Nova if you stagger them. And here we go. Another devastating Nova hit. But one disruptor goes down. And two. And at 3 disruptors, this Sunken is just doing a lot of damage. And these roaches able to dodge the Nova. And, but 5 or 6 of them just chewed up in that one hit. Supply count equalizing. And a few Locust Scarabs from the Swarm Host. Pretty nice defensive idea from Blue. And very badly damaged Novas. Shades trying to stay in the fight, trying to keep up. And they're going to show up too late to be of any help. And the roaches are just going to take out that army. So once again, Blue back with the supply count. Red massively mineral and gas gutted on account of the micro-intensive nature of his play. So should throw down some production facilities, or at the very least, use the ones he's got already. A little bit of a worker glut here as well. He's going to have to transfer these to his third natural, get those gases online. Looks like Blue finally has the Mutalisk tech and is marching in for an attack with his roach force. It's not going to be enough against this massive goon army that has warped in. Still slight supply advantage, 1 expo advantage, and Blue still has his main on account of non-saturation mining. So he is going to have a pretty nice eco edge once he gets this 4th base online. If he can in fact do so. Has moderate creep spread here. Obviously he's been does need to get his second natural up to saturation mining. Both players taking sort of a brief break to macro up. In comes a little Muta Harass, but that is going to be just destroyed by the Mothership Core. And in comes the Stalker Army in fungal growth, pausing those Stalkers, but a Purification Nova depleting the Roach force. And another one forcing a retreat, doing some very nice damage there. And this army is just proving quite a lot for Blue to deal with. He's going to lose this third natural and lost a significant chunk of his army, dropping back into a supply deficit, into the lower supply category, now down 21 supply. And roaches burrowing to flee and heal. Queen being destroyed. In come the infestors, but 2 are dropped by a Purification Nova. That fungal not really doing it. And my opponent types GG.